Real food. What is real food? Real food is our meal plans. Real food means high fibre, low sugar. Processed food is the opposite, low fibre, high sugar. But if you've got ill health, chronic health, atherosclerosis, narrowing of the arteries, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, which is the precursor for type 2, syndrome X, metabolic syndrome, mitochondrial dysfunction, all of these different things that's caused by all this crap food and fibreless food. So processed food is poison. 0 calorie is poison. Mostly. If it's 0 calories, low calories, look at the label. And if there's a whole list of ingredients, the more the ingredients, the more, or the greater the poison. And when I say the greater, the worse the poison. Drenched in chemicals. Low calorie? You're being prescribed a low fat diet? I bet you there's labels on your food packets, and I bet you it's full. Chemicals, bulking agents, emulsifiers, binders, pure chemical. Ultra processed. What's been done to the food? There's a word that they use, bastardized. It's been worse than that. That's why food plants, these industrial processing food plants, they've got no windows. They don't want you to see in. That's why. They don't want you to know what's going on in there. Food shouldn't need a label. Fish doesn't need a label, does it? Unless it's been spiked with something like salmon. Salmon is one of the most genetically modified foods you can eat, unless it's wild-caught salmon, of course. Farmed salmon are full of lice mostly. They've been dyed, and they get fed on grain and soy, all of which you are avoiding because they're GMO, genetically modified. There's glyphosate in there. You know what glyphosate does, it's a chemical. And you think you're doing really well by eating salmon. So there will be a label on most salmon actually, but meat and eggs and fish generally, let's say mackerel or sardines or whatever, they don't have a label. They don't need a label because they're just food. Labels are warning signs, basically. When you see a label, think warning. There should be the skull and the crossbow on it. And it's indicative of how processed it is by what's actually on there and the amount of words. And if you can't pronounce the words, then that should be a second crossbow and a skull. So it's wide-ranging and far-reaching and permeates generations, but the main people that are watching you are your children. We need to be the catalyst for change. We've got to be. The world is in a mess and it's not going to get any better. You have to make this chain reaction of cyclical change and intervention. You need to be the intervention. It has to start now. And don't leave it until somebody gets a diagnosis in the family of cancer. Don't leave it till somebody in the family dies of a heart attack or a stroke. Don't leave it to those times. Do it now. Okay, everybody. Lots of love to you. That's deep. Catch you soon.